Hey everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, great to be here.
Today we're going to be looking at something pretty amazing. LeBron James breaking Michael Jordan's record for most 30-point games.
Quite a feat.
It really is. A lot of people might already know this happened. LeBron just hit 563 games to Jordan's 562.
Wow.
But it's the story behind the numbers that I think is so fascinating. LeBron did it in 22 seasons while Jordan did it in 15.
That's incredible consistency over such a long period of time.
Yeah, and it actually just happened, during a game against the Atlanta Hawks where LeBron scored 30 points.
Of course he did.
But today we're not just looking at the box score. We really want to kind of unpack what this achievement means, go beyond just the surface level.
Absolutely. I think that's where the real insights lie.
So I think one of the most interesting places to start is with how LeBron himself reacted. He said, it's very humbling. Anytime I'm mentioned with any of the greats, arguably the greatest ever to play the game, it's super cool.
You know what I love about that quote?
What's that?
It's just how grounded he is. Even after all he's accomplished, he's being compared to Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan. He's just like super cool.
I know, it's amazing.
It really speaks to his character and, that genuine respect for the people who came before him.
And remember, this is a guy who grew up idolizing Jordan. He even wore number 23 in his honor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine being that kid from Akron, Ohio, looking up to MJ, and now he's the one breaking those records?
I know, it's mind-blowing. And he even said it's like super duper dope for me being a kid where I'm from. Like, you can just hear that pure joy in his voice, right?
Yeah, he's living a childhood dream, and what a dream it is.
It is. And it makes you think about those figures in our own lives that really ignited our passions,
Yeah, absolutely. And think about this. LeBron turned 40 just last week.
Oh, wow. I almost forgot about that.
He's one of the few players still active who actually saw Jordan in his prime.
Wow.
It just puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
Think about what you were doing 22 years ago.
I can barely remember what I did last week.
Exactly. It's hard to grasp 2 decades at this level of play.
It really is. And speaking of Jordan, remember back in 2019 when LeBron passed him for 4th on the all-time scoring list?
Oh, yeah. How could we forget?
He was literally in tears, calling Jordan an inspiration and lightning in a bottle.
Such a powerful moment, right?
It was.
It really shows that depth of influence, even the greatest have heroes who inspire them.
I think that's so important for people to remember. Everyone starts somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even LeBron James had those early influences that shaped his entire career.
All right, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how his teammates reacted. There were the typical locker room celebrations after the Hawks game.
Sure.
But what I found really fascinating was Anthony Davis's take on it.
Oh, yeah?
Now, Davis is from Chicago, so he actually grew up idolizing LeBron.
Ah, so a generational shift in fandom.
Exactly. Davis even joked about, it took LeBron longer to get the record than it took Jordan. But here's the key part. He said, growing up, I was more no one LeBron. That was my era. I think he's probably no one in everything at this point.
Wow. Talk about passing the torch.
I know, right? I mean, That's a huge statement,
It really is. We're seeing LeBron becoming the icon for a whole new generation of basketball fans, just like Jordan was for Davis.
It's amazing to witness this kind of shift, happening right in front of us, who holds that greatest of all time title.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating evolution of the sport and its heroes. It's interesting how these narratives kind of intertwine.
Yeah.
Did you notice how LeBron scored those last 2 baskets to break the record?
Mm-hmm.
Turnaround fadeaway jumpers?
Yeah.
A move very much associated with Jordan.
Yeah, it was like a little, nod to his hero.
Right.
And it's even more interesting when you consider that LeBron has said that, his youth coaches, they actually tried to discourage him from practicing that shot. Yeah. They thought it messed with the shooter's balance or something. But he just, he kept at it. He honed that skill over his entire career.
Such a great example of dedication to craft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both Jordan and James. They took a skill that others might have seen as unconventional, and they turned it into something almost unguardable.
Right.
Think about that in your own life.
Yeah.
What's something you've been told you shouldn't do, but you found success with anyway?
It's about trusting your instincts, right? And putting in the work.
Absolutely. You can't let other people's doubts hold you back from reaching your full potential.
And speaking of reaching potential, LeBron hit some other milestones in that same game against the Hawks.
Oh, that's right. He passed Dirk Nowitzki for 4th most games played in NBA history.
Regular season, of course.
Regular season, that is. And, of course, he already holds the record for most postseason games played.
So, we're not just talking about scoring records here. This is about, showing up game after game, season after season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going strong. And the night before the Hawks game, he put up 38 points against Portland,
Oh, wow.
which at the time tied Jordan's 30-point record.
And he hit 7 3-pointers in that Portland game.
Yeah.
That's the third highest score ever for a player over 40.
Wow.
Only trailing 2 games by, you guessed it,
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Hmm.
It's amazing how these two are constantly pushing each other, even across different eras.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if LeBron's pushing himself even harder, knowing that Jordan set the bar so high.
It's possible.
Only 3 players have ever scored 30 or more points in a game after turning 40. Jordan did it 4 times, Nowitzki once, and LeBron has done it twice in the first 5 days of his 40s.
It's unreal.
It's crazy.
It really puts into perspective how rare this level of sustained excellence is. LeBron is rewriting our understanding of what's possible, not just in basketball, but in life.
It's true. Coach Darvin Ham called this achievement another testament to his greatness and longevity, and it's hard to argue with that. And, LeBron's already the NBA's all-time leading scorer.
And we can't forget that incredible streak of 1,253 consecutive games with at least 10 points.
18 years?
That's over 18 years, shattering Jordan's previous record.
It's unbelievable.
I don't even know how that's physically possible.
To me, this goes beyond just sports. It's about dedication, pushing limits, and inspiring others to reach their full potential.
Yeah.
What's even more exciting is that LeBron's story isn't over yet.
Exactly. We're seeing this incredible journey unfold in real time.
It's inspiring to see LeBron defy expectations like this at 40 years old.
Oh, absolutely.
He's achieved so much already, but he doesn't seem content to just rest on his laurels.
At all.
He's still pushing his limits, setting new goals.
Right.
It's almost like he's redefining what's possible for athletes in their 40s.
I think what's really remarkable is that LeBron's drive comes from like a deep well of intrinsic motivation.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just chasing accolades or records,
Yeah.
He's pursuing excellence for its own sake. And that's something we can all learn from.
It's true.
Finding that inner fire that keeps you going.
Yeah.
Even when the external rewards maybe aren't immediately apparent.
It makes you wonder, what are the secrets to his longevity?
Right.
Is it his training regimen, his diet, his mental approach?
Well, he's definitely known for his incredible work ethic and that meticulous attention to his physical conditioning.
Yeah.
There are countless stories about, his rigorous training routines, his dedication to recovery, his commitment to nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
He's also spoken about the importance of mental toughness, visualizing success, and maintaining a positive mindset.
Right.
But I think one crucial factor that often gets overlooked is his ability to adapt and evolve his game over time.
You're right. He came into the league as this explosive, high-flying athlete.
Oh, yeah.
And over the years, he's developed into a more complete player,
Absolutely.
honing his skills as a passer, a rebounder, a leader.
He hasn't let himself become stagnant.
Not at all.
He's constantly learning, refining his techniques, adding new tools to his arsenal.
Right.
And that's a key takeaway for anyone striving for long-term success.
Yeah.
Whether you're an athlete, an artist, an entrepreneur, or anything in between, you have to be willing to adapt to changing circumstances, embrace new challenges, and continuously seek improvement.
So it's not just about raw talent or natural ability.
Nope.
It's about consistently pushing yourself, being open to growth,
Right.
and finding ways to reinvent yourself along the way.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that question I posed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If LeBron can achieve all of this at 40, what seemingly impossible goals could you still accomplish with sustained effort and passion?
What dream have you maybe put on the back burner,
Oh,
thinking it's out of reach?
Maybe it's time to dust it off and give it another shot,
Yeah.
inspired by LeBron's example.
I think this deep dive has been an amazing reminder that we're all capable of more than we think.
Absolutely. It's never too late to chase those dreams and push the boundaries of what you believe is possible.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of LeBron James's incredible journey.
It's been a pleasure.